up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video. And in this video, we're going to start something new. We're going to start a new series. I'm going to do a completely 100% free-to-play playthrough and just kind of post them up. And you guys can come on the journey with me if you want. My hope is it'll help people out. I hope that, if you're just getting started or you're thinking about starting over or you're already playing and you pick up some tips, that you'll be able to find something, take something away from this. Who knows? But I thought it would be kind of cool to just start a playthrough that was 100% free to play, and see what we can make of it, see where we can go. Because I've seen a lot of complaints in the chat on the servers that I'm in lately about the pay to win aspect of the game. Somebody told me that the ads for Bloodline are now talking about how it's not pay to win. Regardless of where you stand on that, this is what we're going to, we're going to go through this, and we're going to, I'm going to kind of let you follow along on the journey with me to see if we can, see what we can make out of a free to play account. Okay. So you see here, I have basically a brand new account. I'm still I'm on number 1 of the development guide, complete stage 1-3. Okay. And I'll show you this in every video that we do. If I go to the first top up here, right, it tells you top up 0 out of 29.99, right? So that's how I will continue to prove throughout this journey that this is a free to play account. Okay. And I'll also show you, let's see, this account is going to be on server. It's basically server 1. It says server ID 101, but that means server 1. Okay, we're on server 1 here. This is actually an account I fired up a while back and did absolutely nothing with. So you can see everything on the map is still locked. Okay, so this first video is going to be almost like a montage. I'm not going to take you through the whole process and all these tutorials and all these boring battles, but when I hit a point in the story that I think is important, then I will, cut in a clip of that section. We'll talk about it, we'll discuss it, and future videos in this series will probably be more kind of one congruent video, one continuous video for the most part. I'll probably cut out a lot of the combat just because nobody wants to watch that over and over again. But we'll see how it goes. This is kind of the plan for this video. So you can see my champions here. Just one thing to touch on. I always choose the elf over the Karg in that very first, option you get. I feel like the elf has a little faster clear power than the Karg. So it helps you kind of go through the early game faster. You see she's still there in my dungeon. Okay, now the reason why I leave her in the dungeon is because you don't get any other captures you make throughout the game. You don't get it. You get gems and you get diamonds and you get gold as you're interrogating your captives. But the one that you get from the opening story, whether it's either the elf or the Karg, depending on which one you don't choose. Like if I start interrogating her, I don't get any rewards for it. So what I do is I just leave her in there, and whenever my development guide comes around to interrogate prisoner, I go and I press any of them but intimidate. Because if you don't know, the one you get from that opening tutorial scene, the answer is always intimidate. Regardless of what you see on any of the other captures, right? All the other captures, they have 4 phrases and there's 4 correct responses. So you'll either get 20 points towards your interrogation or 30 points towards your interrogation. Well, with the opening captive that you get, the answer is always intimidate. So I'll hit anything other than intimidate because I want her to just stay in there, right? And then I have that captive for any time I need to complete the development guide checklist as far as go interrogate a captive. So that's why I leave her in there. I always pick the elf. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to start playing through some of this. And then when I come to a spot that I think is important to talk about in this early game, we'll cut back into it. All right, so here we are. We're back. We just completed stage 1-8, and then you unlock explorations, and you go get the female orc, which I just got here. So she is going to carry us through the majority of the early game. I'm going to put as much resources as I can that makes sense. We'll probably take her up to 40 right now, and then we'll level the other people in a minute. One thing I wanted to touch on that I forgot to touch on in the beginning: if you're new, this is your first playthrough, you want to make sure to get your redemption codes. Okay, so you go into your Guardian page, and then you click on the settings button, and then down at the bottom here you see redemption code, which pops up this code. Okay, now depending on when you're watching this video, there's going to be different codes that are going to be available. The best way to find that is to just go to the Bloodline Discord, and then they have a gift code channel where you can see what all the up-to-date redemption codes are. So make sure you go into that. Later on, as I progress through the game, over on the left side here, the left menu, you see where it says Go ID, Mail, Feature Previews, Quests is locked right now. Later, it's going to say Community, and you'll be able to tap on that, and it'll take you straight to the Discord if you don't want to go Google what the Discord link is. But make sure you get those redemption codes. That's why I have a lot of these extra resources to spend on leveling up the orc and things of that nature. One other neat thing that I discovered, I'm not going to use this necessarily, or at least I'm not going to work it into this tutorial, but the 7 days thing where you unlock the card companion, because I made this account over 7 days ago, I just thought this was neat. My one single login got me the login reward for all 7 days. So this will make collecting this faster for me. Because I kind of created this account and set it on the shelf, so I'll be able to unlock. You see this one, I already have 2 things unlocked. The exploration I just did for the tutorial counted for unlocking that one. So that'll give me kind of a quick boost, but if you're starting a new account, it's not that big a deal. You will get these over the course of 7 days. Not a problem there. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. And like I said, another thing is some of the redemption codes will give you these little blue envelopes here. Let me close everything else so you're not looking at them. Okay, little blue envelopes there. Okay, if you get them from redemption codes, we want to open them, right? That's going to help us get stronger faster. Okay, so we just got 2 2-stars. They're not the greatest 2-stars, but it helps us fill out our roster. Okay, another thing you want to do, I have a little bit more than I should right now because of that 7-day thing I was just showing you. But when you go through this initially, I think you'll have 2 or 3 additional explorations when you get the female orc. I always try and use those beyond the beginning, beyond that first time where exploration unlocks. I usually save them up till I get 10 so I can do the little quick 10 at a time exploration. That also means I don't have to watch the dragon fly around and do dumb stuff slowly, because it just gives you all 10 rewards right away. But initially, I always spend my exploration points at that when exploration first unlocks, because again, a chance to get stronger, a chance to get more champions. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and level the people I'm going to keep on the board. And one thing as I go through this, I'm going to go through, my initial goal is to get to stage 220 and beat stage 220, because that's when the summoning portal unlocks. That's when a lot of things unlock, and that may be the next time that I actually cut back in and talk about something. But to get all the way to 220, I am going to use simple comp that you are going to get no matter what. Okay, it's going to be the female orc, it's going to be the male elf. Okay, it'll be the male Sallyhorn, because I get all of those no matter what. The other two that I will eventually get is going to be the Travian, the elf archers, because you'll get those when you first unlock companions. And then the male Lionheart you get, I think, after you complete stage 2-5. So that'll be the comp that drives me through the stage 220 goal. And I can't recall off the top of my head if there's anything between now and 220 that we'll need to discuss. But again, this video is gonna kind of be a montage of these different cut-ins and me sharing some thoughts with you as I go through this initial playthrough. So that's all for this section, and then we'll cut into another section. All right, we're back. So we just completed stage 1, and we're to the part where we unlock the leaderboard. Okay. Now, one trick that you can use to help give yourself an edge is to make sure that you are starting your account on one of the more developed servers. This is going to give you a big jump in the beginning. Now, if that's not important to you, fine, start on a less developed server so you can kind of grow with the server. That can be fun too. But if you're not into, like, you don't care about the leaderboards, you don't care about how competitive you are with other people on the server, if you're just kind of playing for yourself or whatever, like, your biggest immediate boost is going to come from this leaderboard, and you want to take the more developed servers. And what I mean by that are it's going to be all the small number servers, right? The 1 through 20s, whatever. So the smaller the number, the newer or the older the server is, okay? Because they just keep adding on more numbers, so you can kind of tell that way. The reason for this, the reason you want a more developed server, is because when we go into this leaderboard, we're about to get a whole bunch of diamonds. Okay, now where do these diamonds come from? Well, we go into this gift box here where we see this 24 pop up, and you can see we get to collect all these diamonds. And every time somebody reaches one of these milestones, we get to come and collect more diamonds. Okay, the more developed the server is, the more time people have had to reach these milestones. You see, this server is all the way up to 200 million total might. All right. Somebody has actually reached 200 million total might. Roderick here. Okay. So and every time somebody reaches a new milestone, you get to come collect another 50 diamonds. Not for each person, but once somebody gets the 250 milestone, you'll get a little red diamond, tells you to come collect it. You'll get to collect the 50 diamonds. So the more developed your server is, the farther along on this path people will have made it, and that'll be the more diamonds for you to collect. Now, this is a long and boring process, so I'm not going to make you watch me collect all whatever this is, 100 chests. I really wish that they would implement an easier way to collect all of that. Okay, so that's where we stand right now. We just finished stage 1. We're moving on to stage 2. Other than that leaderboard, there's not much more for me to add at this moment. So I'll see you on the next round. All right, we're back. We just unlocked the arena. We finished that tutorial, and now we unlock the Senate. They happen back to back. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to bring up and touch on here is when you go into Senate, right, it's going to force you to make a selection. Okay, so let's just go through that, right? And then you see here, Senate issues 2 of 3 left, right? That means you can answer 2 more times, and then it's on a timer. That's not what's important. I want to give you a quick tutorial. So if you don't know, like, a lot of people have tried to figure out what the best answer to each situation is, and there very well may be a best answer to each situation. But my approach is you select the resource that you need. Okay. If you need gold, you select the top one. If you need bread, you select the middle one. If you need gear, you select the bottom one. Now, I would say avoid the bottom one until it turns gold and you can start getting a chance at legendary gear. And even then, it's kind of, hit and miss. Like, it's RNG whether you get it. You'll get a lot of purple gear trying to get legendary gear. My advice and what I'm going to do on this account is we're always going to answer bread. And the reason is being a free to play account, like we have to maximize our resources. And the best way to get gold is not to select gold from the Senate answers, it's to develop our district. Okay. And the more, let me develop this one real quick while I'm talking about it. And the more gold we can get our district pumping out, the better that we can develop our account. Okay. So whenever you're going in to answer, if you use the development guide, and we'll talk about this later, but if you use the development guide, right, it's going to keep telling you to come back to the Senate and, resolve one of the issues. I am always going to select bread because that allows me to hire more workers in my district. Okay. So that's one thing I wanted to touch on about the Senate there. All right. So we're back. We just passed stage 220. We unlocked the summoning circle. Okay. So we're going to go in here. It forces us to use this crystal. Otherwise, I would tell you to save it. Okay. But it forces us to use this crystal. So we're going to hit the summon once. You see, I actually have 6 crystals, but those all came from those redemption codes. So I'm just going to use the one. Actually, they're not going to make me use it. I can just back out of here. Okay, so we're going to keep those. I'm not going to summon anything right now. One thing that I want to stress is save as many of your resources as you can. Thus far, all I have done is just gone through the tutorial stuff. I haven't spent any resources outside of gold to level champions. Okay, I've just been collecting and collecting and collecting. I haven't spent anything. You can see, I'm just going to show you this again at random times. All right. Still got the free to play going on, 0.2999. All right. So don't spend resources, especially in the early game. And in the next video, I'm going to explain to you why. Okay. So this is where we're going to stop this video. But what I want you to do, if you've been following along or you've gotten to this stage, okay, the next goal is to now unlock guilds. Okay. We'll talk about guilds in the next video. And we're going to talk about what our goals are, what our plans are, how we are going to develop this free to play account to be competitive with some of the pay to win people. Now, we will probably never be able to fully compete with the pay to win players, but we can be relatively competitive and we can do some things as free to play accounts that will help us enjoy our time in the game. But like I said, be competitive, get some achievements, make some progress. Okay. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Give me your thoughts on how much of this journey you want to see, how often you want to see new videos from this free to play specifically account, and how to approach these things free to play. I am Belligerent. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm out. Peace.